What's up guys, FM Campbell here. Welcome to the end of the 2017-2018 season. Going to give you a quick update of how the season went first of all, and then we'll go into what's happened in the summer transfer window going into the 2018-19 season. So we'll start off, we'll go straight into the fixtures, and we'll go to last year. We left you at the Chelsea game, wherever it is. 31st of the 1st. We left you at the Chelsea game where we lost 2-0, unfortunately. So, going into the season after the January transfer window, we played Everton first of all, and we beat them 2-0 in the Premier League. There was goals from Barbosa and Lamela. Then another 2-0 victory at home against Villa. Barkley and Lucas Moura were the goals. Then we played Sheffield United in the league, where we won 3-0. Obviously, Sheffield United, one of the promoted teams. Phil Jones, Marco Reus and Eric Lamela on the score sheet. Then look at this. We absolutely smashed City 6-1. Tore them to pieces. Barbosa with a hat-trick. Quintero, Goretzka and Januzaj all scoring for us. So 6-1 against our rivals at Old Trafford. Then we had the FA Cup where we played West Brom in the 5th round at home again. Quintero getting a goal and Barbosa with 2 in a 3-0 victory. Then we had the knockout stages of the Champions League in the first leg, and as you can see, we lost 1-0 away. So we didn't get any away goals or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame. Then we played Newcastle in a return to the Premier League, beat them 2-0, Eric Lamela and Marco Reus scoring. Then we beat Liverpool in a very, very tight game of 3-2 at Anfield. Luke Shaw, Kurt Zouma and Januzaj scoring. We actually come down from 2-0 down, so it was a good comeback in that game. Then we scraped a 1-0 victory against Hull away. Jonathan Silva scoring, which was a rare occasion for him to score. Then we started banging the goals in again, where we beat Norwich 4-1 in the league. Quintero, Volland, Lucas Moura and one of them legendary own goals that this game seems to have so much of, with a 4-1 victory. Then the 6th round of the FA Cup we played Liverpool again, so only recently we played them in the league, obviously as I said. Januzaj, Barbosa and Reus scoring, and obviously a clean sheet, which is good. Then we had the return leg, the second leg of the Champions League against Napoli, this time at Old Trafford, where we turned it round and smashed them 6-2. So we finished 6-3 on aggregate. Phil Jones, Kurt Zouma, Januzaj with 2, Barbosa and Quintero all scoring. Then the goals kept pouring in. We beat Swansea 6-0 at home. Balanta with 2, Reus with 2, Volland and Quintero. And then Huddersfield away, 6-0 again. Jedvaj, Quintero, Barbosa and Lucas Moura with a hat-trick. We then beat Chelsea to continue on our winning run in the Premier League. Kurt Zouma and Jonathan Silva scoring. Then, as you can see, we drew City in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where we drew 2 of them away. Kevin Volland scoring both of the goals. And then Liverpool again, so a 3rd time in quick succession, we played Liverpool. This time beating them 3-0 at home. Phil Jones, Pugliese and Goretzka scoring for us. Then the return leg in the quarter-final of the Champions League against City, this time at Old Trafford. We went 2-0 down and managed to bring it back to 2-2. And we then beat them on penalties, fortunately. Phil Jones and Balanta scoring for us. Then the FA Cup semi-final, as you can see, we beat Newcastle with a scraping 1-0 win. Eric Lamela with the only goal to take us through into the FA Cup final. The FA Cup final, by the way, is a live episode, which is already available to watch if you want to. The link will be in the description. Then we played Watford in the return to the Premier League. Beat them 3-0. Lamela with 2, Jonathan Silva with 1. Then we played City again after playing them in the Champions League twice. Beating them 2-0 away at the Etihad. Quintero and Lucas Moura scored. Then the Champions League semi-final, the first leg, we had Barcelona. We drew 1-1, so 3 consecutive draws in the Champions League. Excuse me. Then before our second leg in the Champions League, we played Cardiff, where we scraped another 1-0 win. Januzaj with the only goal. Cardiff, Lucas Moura was the only goal. Januzaj was the scorer in the Champions League semi-final. First leg against Barca. Then we returned in the second leg at Old Trafford and we beat them 3-0 comfortably. Januzaj with 1 and Goretzka with 2. So that would put us in the Champions League final once again. which is also a live episode which you can watch, and the link will be in the description to that. Then we had 2 consecutive draws. By this point, we had actually managed to win the league. So very weak teams were putting out, starting to play some of the lesser players and the younger players in the squad. A 0-0 draw with Reading, so no goals, and the 0-0 draw with Tottenham with no goals. And then our final game in the Premier League, again a weakened team, a slightly weakened team I should say. And we beat Southampton 2-1, Tinye Edvadge and Ross Barkley with the goals. And then, like I said, the FA Cup final and the Champions League final are available to watch live in the description. In particular, as you can see, after extra time, the Chelsea game is a must-watch, I have to say. It is a very, very good episode. I'm quite proud of that one. But we beat Arsenal 2-0 in the FA Cup final. Quintero and Januzaj scoring one each to make it 2-0. And in the Champions League, it was Leon Goretzka that got the late winner in extra time. But yeah, well worth going and watching that. So what I'll do is I'll go through what we've done in the transfer window before I start to show you next season fixtures, otherwise it'll give away who we have bought. So we'll start off with the ins. Now, basically, this is coming towards a period of time where regens really do come into play, where you want to be starting to get the regens in cheap at the beginning, or cheapish at the beginning, because especially ones that have potential to be world class, you're talking you're going to be making a lot of profit unless they get into your team. Now, Kieran Gott, he come from Birmingham. He looks like a very promising player for the future if we can sort out his physical. I wouldn't have. He's only 2.5 star. He's not really a player I would have normally gone for. But in this position, 16 years old, he's got relatively good mental stats already. His first touch is good, his long shots are good, and his dribbling's not too bad, and his technique as well to go with it, especially with that flair in that sort of position. So if we can work something out with his physical stats, maybe a little bit, get him out on loan for an Englishman, he could become worth quite a bit of money. Adam Campbell, he's still very young, he's 23. He was on the transfer list and I snapped him up. 2.3 million we signed him for. He's English, obviously from Newcastle. He's gone out on loan to Leicester, as I want to try and make some money on him. He's already scored 3 and 6, so it's not too bad at all, playing up front for them. And his value's already obviously gone up over 1.5 million, so hopefully we'll get some money from him in the future. Neil Maupay, this guy is a legend on FM13. Signed him off the transfer list as well, 5.25 million, and he's scored 2 in 3 already. 22 years old, French. Got him really cheap. He's gone on loan to Sheffield United. Again, hopefully going to make some money on him. Felipe Gross, he's come from France, I believe, yeah, from Marseille, 7.5 million. So this is a more expensive one, but he has the potential to be an absolute superstar. I'm very pleased with this find. Look at that work rate and teamwork to go with that determination. His physical stats are all there. His technicals are all there already for his position. He's 6'6", which is ridiculous. So we can work on his heading. His jumping's pretty good. So I quite like him. We'll see what happens with him. But if he's not a first team starter in the end, he's definitely a moneymaker. Mauro Menegazzo. It's another regen. He's come from Inter, 4.2 million. 17 years old, only recently turned 17, I think. So he was quite young. Centre back, heading's good. His marking's not too bad. His tackling's fantastic for a 17-year-old. Work rate and teamwork, again, awesome. Physical stats are quite good as well. But this will all dramatically increase over the next sort of 5 years, I'd say. So looking at him as either a moneymaker, or we'll see what happens with him in the future. Adam Mayer, signed him at the end of his contract. Just want to make some money on him. I think he's not going to be good enough to have a start. 25 years old. I actually approached to sign him in January. So he came on a free. 6.25 million value already. So we'll probably make at least about 10 to 15 million on him, hopefully. And he's also gone out on loan. Oh, no, he hasn't, sorry. Then we got Nathan, who's also on a free. 22 years old, 4-star potential still. From Brazil, 3 million. He come from Atletico on a free. But yeah, he's pretty much across the board, especially for that position. So we'll see what happens with him in the future. Daniele Rugani, this guy came on the transfer list. He's one of the, what people say, a potential great buys at the beginning of the game. Juventus did go and buy him at the beginning of the game, and he has just not really been playing for them. Signed him for 1.8 million, so an absolute bargain. He's already gone up 2 million in value, and yeah, just going forward, hopefully we can get some money on him. Julius Kujat, this guy's just a moneymaker. Very, very good for a 15-year-old. Physical stats obviously need working on, but determination is all there. His mental stats obviously will come in time. But for his position, his finishing's good and his heading's good. Just work on that first touch, which is not too bad, and technique, but 4-star potential, he's obviously got something going on there. Alvaro, I was going for this guy for absolutely ages. I really like this guy. He's across the board pretty much all there. His dribbling could be improved maybe, and maybe his first touch as well for that position. I really do like him, so keep an eye out for him in the future. He was expensive, 11.5 million for Fluminense, but I was after him for ages, and I finally got hold of him. Santino Tedesco, 4.5-star potential, 15-year-old, and he is unbelievable across the board already in his technical. He's not too bad at all. His mental and his physical will obviously come in time, but 15 years old, he is definitely one for the future and one to potentially come into the first team. He signed from Mainz for 4.5 million as well, so you can see where you can get the bargains. Another player from Mainz is Gian Marco Bruni, again a regen, 5.25 million. 4.5-star potential as well, so they've got two absolute worldies coming there at youth ranks in the scouting network, so that's good to see. But he's got something about him there. Obviously he's very, very young, and these players do sort of increase very quickly at a young age, so again another one to look out for. Rosario Santuccio, I like this guy as well. He's pretty much across the board for a winger. I'm going to have him retrained as a right attacking mid. He's just awesome. His physical stats are already pretty much there. His technical are coming along nicely. His mental does need working on, but looks like a real potential good player for the future. He comes from Palermo for 6.75 million. So transfers out. So we'll start off. Johnny Hughes. Stoke just came in and made an offer of 11 million. He was worth something like 2.8 or something like that. And this guy, I mean, he's a centre midfielder, but he can't pass. His passing is 10. I know he's 19, he's still young, but his physicals are very good. But he was basically, it was 2.5-star, and for 11 million, I was like, well, he's never going to start in the first team. He's going to go out on loan again probably, and his value's only, I mean, it can only increase, but 11 million, I can't turn that down now because I don't know if I'll ever get something like that again. So I just went for it. Memphis Depay, he's gone out on loan. Obviously, we signed him on a free from PSV. He went to Freiburg on loan, and now he's at Tottenham on loan. He scored 1 and 2 from the wing, which is good, but he's just a moneymaker basically. But his value is already 8.5 million, so loads of it's quite good to see what happens to him. Marco Asensio, he's gone out on loan again. He's a youth prospect. I really like him. See what's going to happen to him in the future. James Wilson, he's not really hitting his potential too well, so I'll probably look to sell him in the near future, but he's gone out on loan to Hull. I'm just trying to get last-ditch bits of money out of some of these players. Michael Nuttall is a regen, gone out on loan. You've probably seen him before. Will Keane, finally sold him, 3.8 million. He's gone to QPR. Obviously, his value has increased, but it wasn't increasing for me, and they made an offer, so I took it. Robert Grimshaw, he's been around for a while now. Don't really know what I'm going to do with him. Probably look to sell him in the near future, because for all of them positions, other than, well, no, all of them positions, he doesn't have the technical stats for that position, so he's quite a tough one to figure out, unfortunately. Who else have we got? Hiram Guerrero, again another regen. Again, looks like a real bright prospect. 10 million value already at 20 years old. Esteban Ventosa, also gone out on loan. Sampdoria, another regen. Look at him. He's starting to look like a bit of a player. Tom Thorpe, going to sell him soon, I think. 25 years old. He's just like an average English defender. He's gone out on loan to West Ham. Neil Maupay, as I said, I brought him in off the transfer list for relatively cheap. He's gone out on loan to Sheffield United, as I explained. Lucas Ocampos has gone out on loan. Already his value's at 10 million. He's not good enough to be in my first team, unfortunately, with the likes of Royce and Januzaj on the left. but 10 million, 24 years old, out on loan at Sociedad at the moment, and yeah, it looks like a potential good bit of business, that one. Where else? Sorry, Dimitri Mitchell, probably looked to sell him, and we did, and 500k went for to West Ham. He's pretty poor, to be honest. I'm not really too fussed about him. Just wanted to get rid of him, get him off the wage bill, because some of these players did start to moan about contracts and stuff. Ben Pearson's gone out on loan again. Hopefully, probably going to sell him soon. He's just not really in these sort of areas for that position that I like. Because I mean, his creativity it's okay, I suppose, but we'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, no, I just wanted to get rid of him really. So he's going to go out on loan. Well, he's gone out on loan, and he will obviously come back, and we'll get rid of him soon. Alex Grimaldo was signed on a free a couple of seasons back. Unfortunately, he wasn't being played at the last club very much. I had to wait to the transfer window to bring him back, but he is now being played. He's the left back that he's quite a worldie at the beginning, but unfortunately, with Luke Shaw and Jonathan Silva, he's never getting in the team. James Hill's gone out on loan. See what happens with him. I quite like him actually. He's not too bad for an Englishman, but obviously most likely to be a moneymaker. Alex Grimaldo, we've been through James Hill. Corrington Jean, we got him in, was it last season? I think we got him in last season. I'm sure we did. Oh no, 2 seasons ago. Yeah, we got him on a free, but he is turning out to be a very good player actually. I quite like his stats. He was a good player on FM13 as well. 9 million in value from a free. He's on loan at West Brom at the moment. But he's starting to look a really good player. Look at them physical stats at 23 years old. 5'7", so he's not too bad. Could work on his finishing, I guess. But other than that, he's all there. He's not too bad at all. Who else we got? Brian Cristante. We managed to get him quite cheap. Yeah, 1.1 million. He was 4-star potential, and he's looking really, really good. So the fans are moaning about me buying him because they didn't really see the point in the business, apparently. But 7.25 million already, 23 years old. I'm probably going to make money on him in the future. Angelo Enriquez, he's gone out on loan again. I really want to make money on him because he's not a bad player at all. I might bring him into the first team next season. But he's on loan at Southampton at the moment. He's scored 1 in 3 so far. But I do really like him. But when I've got Jonathan Silva and Luciano Vieto, it's quite tough to juggle them. Especially as he's 24. I mean, it's getting to a point now where I either sell him or I take him on. But 5.75 million, I can't justify that sort of money. I want to make about at least 15 on him to 20 plus. So Stefan Geisin, he is a bit of a world. He's 5-star potential. This guy, 18 years old, currently on loan at Inter. Will Hughes, trying to sell him as well. He's now on loan at Norwich. Hopefully we'll try and get some money for him in the future. Harry Flynn, he's a regen. He's not all that, to be honest with you. He's just going to be a money maker, but I'm trying to get his value up. Paul Tapia, this guy is 5-star potential, and he's not looking too bad at all. Natural fitness is a concern, so we'll have a look into see what we do in the future, but 8 million in value is not too bad. Amir Raza Golam. This guy, I found him as a free agent, and I was like, he doesn't look too bad for a 21-year-old. Signed him up, 3.3 million in value. He scored 2 in 3 from in centre midfield. So, 2 in 4. He's not doing too badly at all. He's loaned at Celtic at the moment. So, I mean, for that position, his passing's good. His first touch isn't too bad. Determination's good. I like his mental stats there, but getting there. Physicals are very good. I just thought, why the hell has no one gone for him? So, snapped him up, got him in, and he's gone out on loan. Hopefully, he'll be a moneymaker. Same with this guy. Very similar situation. Tommaso Arrigoni. A couple of seasons ago, he was a free agent. Just took advice from a couple of my staff members and scouts, and went for him. And he's starting to look not a bad player at all. So, potential moneymaker. We'll see what happens. Thiago Casasola. He's starting to look like a really good player. So I really like him. Physicals are unreal. His technicals are perfect for his position. And to be honest with you, this isn't too bad at all. Bravery is a bit of a concern. But he's still only young, so we'll see what happens with him. But he's on loan at Juventus at the moment, and he's starting, which is good. Terry Kenner. This guy is not too bad at all. I think he's 4-star potential. 17 years old. He's a goalkeeper. His handling needs working on, and so does his kicking. But other than that, he's we're just going to see what happens in the future with him, I think. Tinyadvaj has gone out on loan to Stoke. His reports come back very good and then very bad. He's either sort of 2.5, 3-star, or he's up like 4-star potential. I like him because he's a unit. He's 6'2". He's strong. He can jump, and his heading's good. And he's only 22 years old. So we'll see what happens to him. But he's on loan at Stoke at the moment. Now this is where the business end sort of came in, and I'll explain why. Ben Cohen, common name to come up in this. He's not too bad at all. We can see what happens with him. Natural finish is a concern. 18 years old though, so I do quite like him. We'll see what happens with him. English as well. He's on loan at Swansea. Andrija Zivkovic, the man that I've never known what to do with, along with Agustin Alione. Zivkovic is a tough one because he's a very, very good player, but he's just not quite good enough to knock out Lamela at the moment. So he keeps moaning about a contract, but I managed to get him because it was due to run out in 2019, I believe. So I managed to get him an extra year, and he wanted a lot of money, but unfortunately, it was talking like 80 grand, and he'd hardly played for me, so I couldn't really justify it. He's on loan at Roma at the moment, so I don't really know what to do with him, but put in the comment section below what you think I should do. Richie Booker, he's just a money maker, although his value's not really increasing. So we'll see sort of how short term his career at the club's going to be. Adam Barberio, he's not too bad at all. Left back, his mental's getting there. He's only 19. Physical's pretty good, and his technical's quite good for his position. So I'm quite pleased with how he's getting on. So we'll see what happens again. Aaron Leas Iseka, I just got recommended to sign this guy by one of my staff, and he is 4-star potential. I can't see where he's getting the potential from because his mental stats are terrible. And we signed him on a free a couple of within the last 2 seasons. So it's a tough one with him. I'll probably look to get rid of him soon. Adam Campbell, you know about, who's gone out on loan to Leicester. Facundo Cardozo, Real Madrid came in for him. I wasn't even going to play him, and they offered 26 million up front. I was like, yes, take him. He doesn't look too bad a player, but for 26 million, considering we signed him on a free, I was loving life. So I was like, yep, you can have him, no worries. Simon Fern, I'm quite interested to see how he gets on. English right back, and he's on loan at Wigan at the moment, and he's 4.5-star potential. Excuse me, so I'm quite happy with him. Humam Tariq, he went out on loan to Benfica, but I decided to bring him back because he is looking really good. 4.5-star potential. He's going to be rotating with Quintero and Barkley. The idea was to sell Quintero, believe it or not, because Quintero's reports have just dramatically decreased. And while he was worth money, I wanted to get rid of him really, but no one wanted him, and I didn't know why. So Tariq's at the moment back with us, but we're going to see what happens in the future. Then look at this. Kevin Volland sold him for £50 million, and he was playing second choice to Barbosa last season. 50 million. I know he's sort of just coming into his peak, but I couldn't get his technical stats to increase much more than what they were. He trained on finishing all season and it didn't budge. So that was a bit of a pain, but his physicals are still good. His aggression was a bit of a concern. He's got 2 and 4 for Atletico. But I'm never going to turn down 50 grand, especially when he's moaning about a new contract and wanting loads of money and all this stuff. Then Michy Batshuayi, signed him for his release clause of 6.75 million. Had him out on loan a few seasons, and we finally sold him for 23 million, so a good, wealthy profit. Nicola Leali, he's gone to Chelsea on loan. They're saying they're going to play him as a key player. Whether they will, I doubt it, with Cech and Courtois in the team, so the likelihood is I'll probably be bringing him back in January. But they want to pay all his wages, and they were the only club to say they would do so. So we'll get him back to the club. I'd rather have him progressing at this club than at Chelsea, to be honest, because our facilities are much better. Moving on, Jeffrey Kondogbia, we let him go for 20 million. Obviously, he played in the season before last, and he was quite a consistent player, but Unfortunately, he wasn't going to get in the team over Lucas Romero and Pugliese because they're now coming into their own. So I decided to actually let him go before his value decreased. His value was 10 million it went down to, so we doubled our value on him, and we did make a profit as we signed him for 10.5 million. So we doubled just under doubled our money on him. Lucas Moura, 26 years old. His stats were decreasing a slight bit for some reason. His physicals have decreased, but when someone offers you, like Barcelona, for £40 million up front, I'm not going to turn it down. So we've got Lamela and now Alioni, and Alioni's reports are better than Lucas Moura's, believe it or not. So Lucas Moura went for 40 million. Then Tom Ince has finally gone out on loan. He's been one of the hardest players to get out on loan to increase the value I think I've ever dealt with. Similar to Will Hughes as well. And John Neal's also gone out on loan. He's going to be a money maker. He's not really of the level that I want him to be. Daryl Raven, again, he's just sort of a money maker on my best guesses. His physicals are a concern and his mental stats still need to kick in. But we'll see what happens. At the minute, I'm just trying to get his value up. Tonino, quite like this guy. It was between him and Humam Tariq to bring back on loan. He's just not a bad player at all. Sorry, no, it wasn't between him and Tariq. Ignore what I just said. But yeah, Tonino, I quite liked him. He's gone on loan to Vitesse. We'll see what happens to him in the future. This is the guy that I was on about, that I was thinking of, didn't know whether to bring back Alvaro or Tariq. But we went for Tariq. But Alvaro, 18 years old, he's already worth 9 million, 13.75k a week, and he's looking to be an absolute beast. So we'll see what happens, but I really like him, and I'd expect to see him in the near future. Gino Peruzzi, £30 million. As you know, we signed a right back quite recently called Oscar Ramos, and it's between him and obviously Robert van den Hoogenband, who was one of our youth players to come through. So them two are occupying the right back position. So I decided to let Peruzzi go, as when it's sort of wages in this sort of area, I don't really I went against it, especially as he was getting booked left, right and centre, which was a bit frustrating. But yeah, so we let him go, but 40 million, I can't complain. Sorry, 30 million. Then Pierre-Emile Hojberg, he's gone out on loan again. I'm probably going to look to try and break him into the first team. We've got a problem because we've got a lot of deep line playmakers. We've got Hojberg, we've got Kovacic, Ward-Prowse, Goretzka, all these players that are deep line playmakers. And obviously I went for Paul Pogba last season. So we have quite a lot of them. So which one do you think I should keep? Which one do you think I should let go? Put it in the comment section and let me know. Horacio Escor, he's gone out on loan to Sporting. Because of his natural fitness, I probably could have looked to him as a money maker. Dennis Shaw has also gone out on loan. He has gone to Blackburn. Who else have we got? Tommy Maxwell. 17 years old, so he's still got a lot of potential. He's actually not a bad player. He's 4.5 star potential according to my assistant manager. His physicals are pretty good for a 17-year-old. Obviously his mental's got to kick in, but his technical is not too bad at all. Who else we got? Alan Garber. This guy, he's not too bad. He's across the board. He's looking pretty average, but he's only 17. He's on loan at Birmingham, so we'll keep an eye on him for the future. Kevin Connor, he's gone on loan to Sunderland, 17 years old. He doesn't look too bad at all. For an Englishman, as a winger, he's got the dribbling and the crossing there already. Heading was a bit of a strange one for a winger to have good heading, especially when he's only 5'9". His physical's not too bad, so again, keep an eye on him. Mauro Menegazo, I think we brought him up already. He's gone out on loan to Chievo. He was one of the guys that we brought in, I believe. Yep, for 4.2 million. He's gone out on loan. Nick Powell, he's gone out on loan as well. Hopefully, probably going to look to make money on him. Let's take him off the transfer list, as his value will decrease. But yeah, Nick Powell, he's gone on loan to Arsenal. Again, I personally play him as deep line playmaker, so don't really know what to do with him, but he wants a lot of money. He's on 75 grand a week already at 24, so we'll have to sort of see what happens with him, but any recommendations, please put them in the comment section. So that's all the outs, and obviously the ins as well. We made we sold £204 million worth of players, not to mention all the wages that are all gone out on loan or off the wage bill. We signed 53.77 million, so a good 150 million profit just on transfers. Obviously, we are now debt free. We're a debt free club, and I mean, look at the balance. The balance is 434 million, and we're projected to get 693. So I mean, this is just crazy money. Transfer budget that we have remaining. Let's have a look at this. So if we right up to transfer, look at that, £326 million. I've never had this sort of money ever on FM, and obviously 5.2, so well over double of what we're currently spending on wages. So it's just absolutely ridiculous, the money that we've got available to us. But I'm trying to concentrate on regens and youngsters and youth players to bring them in, get them into the club. I mean, if we have a look at the size of our under-18s team, it's quite big, considering. And then also, if we have a look at our under-21s team, most of them are out on loan, obviously, but again, quite big. The team itself, the senior squad. So if we have a look at what we've got, so we've got two choices, a goalkeeper, Massimiliano Lascini. He's now our second choice because he's 4.5 star potential and being tutored by David De Gea. De Gea is still unbelievable. Oscar Ramos and Van der Hoogenband is obviously our choice at right back. Then we've got our two choices at left back are Jonathan Silva and Luke Shaw. Our centre backs, we've got Balanta, Doria, Jones and Zuma, with, at the minute, what have I done there? Swap them around. Jones and Zuma, Jones and Balanta are our first choice at the moment, with Doria and Zuma coming through. Centre midfield. Now we play a 4-2-3-1 with two centre midfielders. One that's a ball winner or a box-to-box, and the other is a deep line playmaker. So the right hand side we have available to us as a box-to-box or ball winner. We've got Lucas Romero or Mario Pugliese, and Romero is the first choice. Then on the left hand side we've got deep line playmaker of either Kovacic, Ward-Prowse or Leon Goretzka. At the minute Kovacic is our first choice. On the right hand side, right attacking mid, or attacking midfield right, obviously got Lamela as our first choice and then Augustin Allione. Both the same potential, as you can see, but obviously current ability, Lamela is miles ahead. So I mean, Lamela is our first choice with Allione as our second choice. But on the left hand side we've got either Royce or Januzaj. Januzaj is now our first choice and Royce is our second choice. But obviously all four of them can change sides, so they can play left or right, and also Tariq can play on the left as well. This is why I brought Tariq back, because we did decide, because look, Quintero's a star potential below Barkley, so Barkley is now our first choice. Obviously being English helps as well. And then we've got Quintero and then we've got Tariq, but Tariq can play on the left as well, which is another reason why I brought him back. I don't know, to be honest with you, I only need two strikers because I want one or the other to play so they don't moan. So I rotate, so I very rarely get injuries with them, touch wood. But yeah, Vietto at the minute is the man that's starting, with Barbosa as second choice. But Barbosa's got 4 in 3, and Vietto has only played one game and not scored, but 4.5 star potential with Vietto. So he's him, Januzaj, Lachine and De Gea are our only players that are 4.5 star potential according to our assistant. So, but yeah, so that's what we're looking at the moment. Accolade wise, let's see how we are getting on past winners. Obviously we won it in this season, so if we go to the league and then we look at the table and we go to the last season, we walked the league, 9 points clear, bearing in mind we had 2 draws because we're playing weaker teams at the end of the season, so it's probably another 4 points on top potentially that we should have got. So we walked the league by 9 points. We lost 4, only conceded 16, so we conceded the least and scored the second highest after Chelsea with 79 goals, and they had scored for 84, but only lost 4 games all season, so it's not too bad at all really. Goal difference of plus 63, so we're miles above the rest. What else did we win in that season? So let's have a look at the club. We want competitions. So we're looking at 2018. Or would it be 2018? So at the beginning of the season, 2017, obviously, Club World Championship we won. We'd won the Champions League, as you know. We also won the Super Cup in this season as well. The Premier League we won. Obviously not in the Championship. FA Cup we've won. Capital One Cup we didn't win. We didn't win that one. Community Shield we didn't win it in 2017, but we finally won it this year, which I'll go into now. And then obviously our under-21s will come runner-up in the under-21s Cup. Now, how are we getting on this season? Right, let's go back to the full season. So, friendlies, we've won every single. We haven't lost a game this year, basically, so far. Our friendlies, we smashed Stade Rennais 5-1. I don't, like I said in probably previous episodes, I don't take control of the friendlies. I let my assistant do it because it's just a matter of match fitness and team cohesion to me, and then players learning the tactic. So we won 5-1 against Stade Rennais, and then 3-0 against Wigan, 2-0 against Stade Rennais again, played them twice, and then 1-0 against Birmingham. Obviously Wigan and Birmingham are our feeder clubs. Shawcross testimonial, God knows why, he's still playing for them at 30, which is a little bit weird. We had a testimonial, but yeah, 0-0. And then Chelsea we played in the Community Shield, we won 4-0. So we finally won the Community Shield. Barbosa with 2, Barkley with 1, and Ramos with 1. And then we started in the Premier League, great start as you can see. Norwich, we beat 2-0 away at Carrow Road. Ross Barkley won and Barbosa with 1. Then Cardiff we won 2-1 away again, so this is at Cardiff City Stadium. Barbosa and Allione on the score sheet. And then Huddersfield we just beat 4-1 in the league, and that was at Old Trafford, and the goals were from Zuma, Marco Reus, Quintero and Allione. So we've started the league off very well. We're top of the league, we're the only team to actually win all 3. Look at Oscar Ramos at 8.15, not bad at all. Quintero most assists. So yeah, we're not looking too bad at the moment. What's going on? Let's go to the boardroom and see how we're doing. Stadium expansion is in progress. Obviously you know about the youth facilities and the training facilities were improved this year. But yeah, expanding with the stadium, lots of money. Staff, we're pretty much maxed out. I've got scouts all around the world trying to find me them cheeky little regens and then them cheap buys as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Finances, with a couple of sponsorships came in recently. We've got so many sponsorships now money wise because we've won so much. My target for this season is to win every single competition available. Every single one. I've never done every single trophy in the same season. Especially, we nearly done it the other year, but we missed out in the Community Shield. So we've done that this year. So I'm hoping that we can do it this season. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think I should change, what you think I should add. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And do you enjoy me having these long episodes, to continue with these long episodes with the big updates? Let me know in the comment section. I know this has probably been about, what, 35 plus minutes. So, but yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.